Now, a big intimidation factor for a lot of people, myself included, when it comes to traveling overseas, especially if it's somewhere that they don't speak the native language, is exactly that, a language barrier. But today's video, I think I got something that will definitely help you out with that and essentially solve all your problems. So it used to be if you were going to a country that didn't speak your native language, you would either have to learn whatever you could to make it a little bit easier, or you would have to carry, one of those little books that you could flip through, and then you're standing there, and it made it really hard to communicate. But with the beauty of it being 2023 and the future is now, technology has come a long way, and there are a few things that might help you out with that and just make everything a little bit more convenient, so you can kind of just jump around wherever you want. You don't got to buy a bunch of different books, you don't got to learn a bunch of different languages, even though I feel like you should kind of immerse yourself a little bit better. But today we're showcasing something that might change the game for you. Now, a huge thing that you're gonna have to do no matter where you're going is obviously you're gonna need to eat. Now, if you're going to a new country, there's obviously gonna be a bunch of new food. There's gonna be things that you have no idea what it is. And if you don't speak the local language, it can make it a little bit difficult, especially if you have any dietary restrictions or anything like that. But if you have what we're about to show you today, it's gonna make this a whole lot easier, and that way you can make sure you know what you're getting. You can, change orders if you don't want something, and it just makes everything a whole lot smoother. Now, especially if you're in Thailand, you're gonna go to some food markets and stuff like that. You wanna try some street food. If there's anything that you don't like to eat, or if you're not sure what something is, it can be a little bit difficult sometimes to kind of figure out what everything exactly is. So we're gonna cruise around today. We're gonna find some stuff that even after being here for a year, I don't really know what it is, and we're gonna showcase how much easier this thing can make your life. So of course, there are quite a few things on the market, but a translator is definitely gonna change your game, especially if you're trying to get stuff that you don't really know what it is or how to say it in English or Thai. Sawadee Krap, can I have a banana and egg roti, please? Thank you. This one. So, nice thing, you can just speak into it as opposed to having to type and stuff like some other translators. And anyway, you don't have to switch it. You can just pass it back and forth, and everybody can speak in their native tongue, and then you're good. All right, guys, just a quick break to thank the sponsor of today's video, Timekettle. Timekettle is a provider of many different handheld translators. The one featured today is the Fluentalk T1 Mini handheld translator, boasting over 36 languages for voice translation, 39 languages for photo translation, and 13 pairs of offline languages. The T1 Mini is highly responsive in critical communication scenarios, swiftly confirming vital information and addressing emergencies. It is particularly advantageous in areas where language barriers can hinder effective communication, such as regions with limited language proficiency. Travel with complete peace of mind with the T1 Mini, your trustworthy partner that ensures you always have access to assistance when you need it. If you guys would like to check out the T1 Mini, make sure you follow the link in the description. And thank you to Timekettle for sponsoring today's video. So I've been playing with this thing for a few days, and so far I really like it. It's super convenient, especially I really like to use it here at the markets, because the way these stalls are set up, a lot of the times they have the menus in the front and then everybody's standing behind it, so it can be a little bit confusing if you're like just trying to point to stuff. So as opposed to trying to say it in Thai and completely murdering it, you can just speak into it real quick what you want, show it to them, and then they know exactly what you're talking about. Or one thing that can be really hard here, especially with food, is if like you're trying to modify something. So say you're ordering, I don't know, like a sandwich or a kebab or something, you don't want a certain thing on it, it can be really hard to kind of communicate that. So if you want to just say no tomatoes, boom, there you go. Now, of course, being able to order food is important, but that's far from the only application that a handheld translator will come in handy. So anything official can be a little bit stressful if you don't speak the local language. Say you're moving to Thailand, you need to open a bank account. You need to be able to go in, ask around, and sometimes a lot of these places, nobody's gonna be able to speak at least enough English to be able to really communicate properly to make sure you know what you're getting. Another big one that I really hate, was probably my least favorite part of traveling internationally, is dealing with customs. It's super stressful, or if you have any issues, God forbid, when you're coming through, being able to communicate what exactly you're trying to do, why you're there, the proper paperwork, all that stuff, or if you're getting ready to go somewhere and you need to go talk to the embassy or anything like that. If you're out of country and you're trying to go to another spot, maybe you're in a certain country, you're trying to get a visa and a new one before you go, you'll be able to go in there and make sure that you know exactly what's being said to you and exactly what you're saying. That way you know there's no confusion. And another cool feature of the Fluentalk handheld translator is it has a little camera there. So one thing that I definitely didn't think about before I started traveling is you're gonna have to read stuff. Sometimes if you're going into places, maybe a food menu, street signs, if you need directions, anything like that, it might not be in your local language. But with this handy dandy little camera, you can pull it up, it'll scan that, and it will translate it to whatever language that you need. So do you think if foreigners had the ability to translate everywhere that they went, that it would make it easier for you as a Thai person?
คิดว่าถ้าชาวต่างชาติมีความสามารถในการแปลทุกที่ที่พวกเขาไปมันจะทำให้มันง่ายขึ้นสำหรับคุณในฐานะคนประเทศ ใช่ มันจะง่ายขึ้นเพราะว่าทุกคนจะเข้าใจในสิ่งที่คุณพูด
Yes, it will be easier because everyone will understand what you are saying.
Yes, it will be easier because everyone will actually understand what you're saying. There you have it. So after about 3 or 4 days of testing, playing around with everything, I definitely like to test out any products that I feature on the channel just to make sure that it's actually applicable for you guys. And after a few days, I would definitely say it's super convenient. It definitely makes everything a little bit easier. You don't have to, hand a phone back and forth or anything like that. If you would like to learn more, like we said earlier, go down, hit the link in the description. They also have a couple other products that might fit what you're trying to do a little bit easier. And as always, thank you guys so much for tuning in to Tempus TV. We'll catch you in the next one.